Odell Beckham, we've been talking about him on the cover of GQ magazine. His big quote that is leaping out is his disrespected, being traded from the Giants to the Browns, talking about how he was the only one on the Giants, keeping them in prime time, keeping them in the news. This one I think is interesting. Just want to throw it out to you. He was asked how much longer he wants to play in the interview. He said 10 more years, sure, or until he passes Jerry Rice's all-time receiving yards mark of 23,000. What percentage would you give Odell of reaching Jerry Rice?
What does he have right now? What does he have right now?
I don't know.
I can't tell. I mean, nobody's been able to catch it. He's got to play at least more than 10 more seasons on that front.
So Odell's at 5,500 after 5 seasons.
So, I mean, that means he's got to play 20 seasons and keep that up. Good for him. Again, I'll tell you.
Jerry Rice has a 6,000+ advantage on Larry Fitzgerald in second place.
I learned a very long time ago from my buddy Stu Scott, who would have been 54 last Friday, right?
Yep.
So, again, I'll just say it again. Anytime I hear this sort of talk from a player, an athlete, when he or she says something like that, I always think of when Stewart was trying out for the New York Jets to do a piece for SportsCenter on what it's like to try out for a team. And he, despite having one bad eye, thought that he was going to make the Jets. And I laughed. And he looked at me and goes, "What are you laughing about?" He didn't make the Jets. Didn't even come close to making the Jets. But you've got to speak it into existence. You have to believe it. Before you do anything, any athletic achievement, before you attempt anything athletically, you have to believe it. You got to think you can make the putt. You got to make the shot. You got to hit the ball. You got to think it. So if that helps him, you can sit here and laugh at him or whatever. Right? Anybody think Tom Brady was going to be the greatest quarterback of all time when he tried out on the field? You know, Tom Brady probably did.
Saw his 40-time video.
Tom's parents probably did. You know, I mean, honestly, so I'm not going to sit here and laugh like, what is he thinking? He's crazy.
Right.
I mean, he's got to, bottom line is, my answer is he's got to play 15 more years to do it. Certainly if he's going to be in an offense where there's other receivers that are going to get the ball. Yeah. I mean, he's just got, you know.
Where would you take Odell in fantasy this year?
Late first round.
In terms of wide receivers, is he top 3?
Oh, yeah. You don't think so?
I'm just throwing it out there.
You could say
DeAndre Hopkins, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones.
Right. He's up there.
Odell 3, 4.
Look, I'm biased. I've been rooting for the guy since day one.
Yeah, we're big fans.
But and I will just basically say this too: if he feels disrespected by the Giants, like I said, I felt disrespected by ESPN, and it took me a very long time to get over that. When I realized I'm in a good spot, I'm good. You know, clearly it had to hurt him that Gettleman said at the combine we didn't sign him to trade him, and then they traded him. And, you know, a lot of people thought that despite I'm a big fan of Jabril Peppers, that they didn't get back remotely close what they could have gotten back for him. So he probably felt disrespected about what the Giants decided was worthy enough to get rid of him. All I got to say is just enjoy Cleveland. And again, I'm assuming this interview didn't happen last week, that this happened back in April or May. When was it?
Yeah, it happened. They didn't say when the interview took place, right. But there was a question in the interview about if Odell was going to cut his hair, and obviously we saw him at the ESPYs. He did cut his hair, so it was obviously months ago.
Okay, so again, just when you face the Giants again, whenever the hell that happens, just use it. But get over the disrespect part. I mean, look, number of times, it's very rare people just spend one spot in their career or even in any job. But it took me a long time to just realize, hey, I'm having a great time here at the NFL Network. It's a great spot for me to be in. I understand the platform's not as big. And again, he'll learn. The Cleveland Browns obviously is a national brand, but it ain't New York City. And I'm telling you, these comments are going to be played out on this show and in New York City and not so much in Cleveland. Unless people will sit there and feel like, what, he doesn't like us here? I don't think they're going to feel that way when he shows up at training camp this week.
No, it'll be real exciting.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.